Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. My name is Christopher Coombs, and in front of me we have
Gaurav Khazanchi. Welcome back, everybody, to the So Far So Good podcast. Now, Chris.
We are kicking this episode off with some very, very sad news.
It is sad, but it's also a celebration of sorts.
We're not going to leave anyone hanging like we normally do. We're going to just throw it out there. We are ending the So Far So Good podcast. Gaurav?
Yep, this is the last SFSG episode that will ever be produced. And it's been a solid run.
That's right. And we will talk a bit more about that right at the end. But for now, let's introductory question it up as usual. Because it is the last one, so I reckon we should still do it.
Because it's the last one, I think let's give a quick throwback to the first time we ever welcomed the So Far So Good podcast. So let's play that clip right now.
Let's do it. Welcome to the So Far So Good podcast.
First official episode. This is a long time planning, but we finally pressed record. All right, now that's a throwback and a half.
What a walk. No, not a walk. What a sprint down memory lane.
That is a sprint all the way back.
1,000,000 miles an hour.
2.5 years ago, essentially. We've kept it strong. So you know what? I reckon you should welcome us back one last time properly, now that we all know this is the last episode that is going to be produced for the So Far So Good podcast.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this big time. Okay.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. My name is Christopher Coombs, and in front of me we have
Gaurav Khazanchi for the very last time at the So Far So Good headquarters. Chris.
What a time to be alive. There's mixed emotions. Again, we will talk about that at the end.
Yep.
But for now, let's pretend like things are all happy.
Yep.
Happy Larry, I think it is.
Yep.
So let's get into our introductory questions. And it's going to be related to the So Far So Good podcast because it's the last episode. Gaurav, hit me up with your question.
All right, Chris. I really wanted to. We've already talked about our favorite episode, so I want to ask you, what is your favorite memory, as big or as small or as medium, from the So Far So Good podcast, Chris?
I've got 3.
Okay.
My first 2, I can say at the same time because it was when I won both races. So they were my top 2, but then the third I've got to say, which was something against me, but it was actually an awesome moment either way. So I'll take the good and the bad with this one. But it was when Gaurav placebo affected me into thinking that I had drank multiple beers when it was all the same beer. I've got to say, that was an iconic moment.
Thank you very much. Look, and I've always taken that as a win. And I'm glad you balanced out your probably final humble brag on this pod with something that's actually making you humble.
That's right. It brought me back to ground zero, that's for sure.
Exactly right. Now, solid answer, man. Good memories, of course.
Oh, yes. Now, Gaurav, I will hit you up with this question.
Yep.
What are you going to miss the most from the So Far So Good podcast?
Oof. Okay, you know what? I'm going to miss hearing the philosophized Chris. All of Chris's nonsense philosophies that he just pulls out of nowhere. And, of course, interacting with our soft souls, you know, they were such a big part of this podcast, and it was always good getting their word, getting their say on things, and always responding to their messages.
Absolutely. And I do remember the gym episode that we spoke about with the gym stories.
Yes.
And we had such an awesome response from the soft souls. All the stories that we read out were just great, entertaining. Those are the things I think both of us will probably miss the most.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
But in terms of, philosophies and all that nonsense, you know what? If anyone listening knows me, Gaurav, you know me, you'll still get those in real life.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's okay.
Exactly. It's okay. It'll still carry on.
That's right. Now, without further ado, for the last time, let's get into it.
So far, so good.
So welcome back, everybody listening. If you are still listening to our podcast, you have to remember that we appreciate every single one of you. And it is, unfortunately, the last time, but you can still reach out to us on our Instagram. One thing I do want to mention, usually we would, at this point, do our What Are We Drinking segment. We're not going to do that today. Unfortunately, due to lockdowns and restrictions, we're not in the same room. We were not able to prepare. But what I'm getting at here is, Gaurav, I am currently... Actually, you know what? Can you guess what I'm currently drinking? Because I am drinking something.
My goodness. You're drinking a coffee, aren't you?
You know it, brother. And the reason I bring this up is because this is what brought that segment on in the first place.
Exactly right.
When the lockdowns happened, every time we'd record, I would start, I'd have a coffee on the ready for when we're recording. And then I would always say to Gaurav, have you got your coffee? And he never would.
I never would.
So that's what prompted me to bring up the idea of, hey, let's drink something different on every single episode so then I don't have to keep asking you, where's your coffee?
Exactly. So instead, we asked each other, what are we drinking? And it's just, that's another throwback. This episode is just full of throwbacks. You know what? By the end of this episode, what we'll both probably be drinking is the tears falling from our eyes.
They're going to drip right down.
Drip right down.
Now, Gaurav, you wanted to mention something big, didn't you?
Yes. Now, look, this would have been big. This was planned, we wanted to end with a bang, this final episode. We wanted to end proper, We've started well. We've followed through every week, on the Monday, to keep you guys happy, up to date. And we wanted to end on a bang. But sadly, like Chris said, this out of the blue lockdown has thrown our plans off. But we still do have something to show for it. Now, obviously, what I'm talking about is Chris's tattoo punishment, which has been going on for 6 months. We had a booking. He was going to get it done. But obviously, because everything closed, we can't deliver that to you. Yeah. But Chris, why don't you tell them what we do have to show?
Well, I'll keep it brief because we'll show it. So last week, we went out on the prowl in the hopes that we were going to actually just get it done right there and then.
Yep.
There was a few hiccups on the way, a few mixed emotions about where we went, let's say. Yep. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but let's play the clip of when we went out to try and get this done.
All right, let's do it. So here we are in the vehicle on our way to the tattoo parlor as we promised. Chris, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. To be honest, I'm a little concerned that it's not going to happen. Like, I don't know, because it seemed like such an issue to get a tattoo on a finger. So we're going to rock up. We're going to see what happens. How are you feeling, Gaurav?
Pretty much the same thing. It's a mix of will we have enough time as well as are they even going to let us do it on the finger? Because when I chatted to the guy on the phone, he was hesitant, but he said, come in and have a chat. We'll have a suss. So I'm in the same boat as you.
So it's currently whatever time. The GPS says we're going to get there at 5:22. They close at 6, which should be, you would think, plenty of time. But I feel like they still need to draw it up, put it on, and actually do it. But who knows? Do they work overtime? I don't know.
All right, so we've parked the car. We're at the destination, the current destination. Chris is looking and sounding very scared. Do you want to give us your thoughts, Chris?
Honestly, I'm just concerned because the sign outside the tattoo shop looks like a 2-year-old made it. It's not appealing whatsoever. For a place that literally designs things to go on your body, you would think their sign would be appealing.
But you know what they say, never judge a book by its cover. And what you're essentially doing is judging a shop by its sign. And that's the equivalent of never judge a book by a cover. So you just gotta, let's see when we go inside, it might be the greatest looking shop you've ever seen. I got a peek inside the window because Chris was driving. And I think it looks quite neat and quite artistic. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, we'll have to give it a go and we'll see what happens. We're walking in now.
Oh yeah, it's pretty
legit.
Pretty cool.
How you going there?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good mate, good.
So this guy wants to get a finger tattoo. Do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's nothing too complicated.
They don't last very well.
Yeah?
It might not stay in very well. It might blow out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, does
Be happy with it later on.
it fade off pretty quickly?
Yeah, they don't work real well.
Yeah.
We'll reconvene and pop back in.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, there you go. There you have it.
I mean,
There you have it, people.
it's possible. It's still possible.
It's going to blow out within a year.
Okay.
So you probably couldn't hear in that recording, but one of the girls that was getting a tattoo done has had a few tattoos on her finger and said that she has to get it redone in less than a year.
Yeah.
Less
And
than 1 year.
She's had it redone 3 times. But look,
All right, we're going to have to reconvene and change it
so
after all that.
wait, let me see.
Oh, my Lord.
Would you care if it did fade?
Well, what's the point, I guess? It's going to look stupid. She
Okay.
said it cracks as well.
Yeah, and I think she said there was areas on her finger where the skin got thick. So you probably don't want that. Look, at the end of the day, this was all your idea to get on the finger. I was never for it until the very last minute. So
But you had the chance. You made the calls.
I know I did. That's what I'm saying. Until the end.
You should have obtained that information.
We've had a bit of a discussion and discussed some other locations. And we think we've arrived at a new potential destination.
Yeah, after a very controversial and topical discussion, we have finally decided we're going to go with...
The side of the foot. What are your thoughts?
I think it's the only way it can work. What else can we do?
I think it's like the foot equivalent of the finger, but it's also better, and you'll get it slightly bigger, and it'll look better, and it won't fade in here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go with that, I reckon.
And I'm okay with it. It was actually one of my suggestions. I was pretty much okay with anything but the finger. So, look, this is really a win-win for me. A win-lose if you combine both our wins and losses. So we'll just have to wait and see. Chris did try to do some research on how long it does take for a foot tattoo to fade. It doesn't look like it's like it seems to be the mechanics of a normal tattoo. So it should work out fine.
Yeah, mechanically, I think it's a go. So now we just need to book it in, find a time, and head down and get it done.
So now we can book, let's say, a legitimate tattoo parlor. That was legitimate. I have never been to one, like I've said many times, so didn't know what to expect.
I've got to say, I could not be more relieved that I'm not getting a tattoo from this place. Not only was the sign out the front bad, but there was not really anything good about the place at all. So it's relieving completely.
He's really not giving it any credit. It was fine. It was like a stock standard tattoo parlor.
You've never been. How would you know?
Because
You've never been.
It was stock, like you walk in, there's tattoo pictures everywhere. It was actually extremely clean, and it looked like they do keep up their hygiene. But it was very awkward being in there because we were just talking to the guy while he was tattooing some other patient.
Yeah, it's another patient. She's not severely ill, but yeah. So we'll reconvene at another stage of the journey.
Over and out.
So there you have it, guys. As Gaurav said, we went for it. We tried. We had it booked, but now the restrictions have hit again.
Yeah.
And we can't delay it anymore.
Look, it's still gonna happen, and like Chris said, keep up to date with our Instagram because we'll obviously present it there.
Exactly, and that's the other thing I wanted to mention one more time. I'll reiterate: we are keeping our Instagram open.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to reach out to us, you can. We may even post some throwback photos here and there. Who knows what's going to happen there, but we are leaving it open for the public.
Exactly right. And, you're always welcome to go back and listen to whichever episode you would like at whatever point in time. This can now be a daily thing if you make it. So
yes, that's right.
You still have a lot of options to be part of the So Far So Good podcast.
Yeah. Now, we did want to keep this episode short and sweet to end it off Gaurav has a full written out letter, I believe, to thank everyone. So I'm going to let him go last because mine's a little different. And I told Gaurav earlier that I have specifically not written out a letter because I want it to come straight from the heart in the moment of when we're recording this episode. So Gaurav, I will go first, and this is going out to all the soft souls that have listened to us. Okay, guys, firstly, we want to thank every single one of you for tuning in every week or here and there. You know, we have had soft souls, we've had general listeners, we've had loyal listeners, but we love them all the same. As you know, we love everybody. Everyone who sent us in questions, sent us in stories, they were the top moments of the podcast at all times. Yes, we had heaps of fun with the races and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we weren't just doing it for us. We were doing it for other people as well. People were enjoying it. They were messaging us, you know, throwing debates at us about things that we would speak about.
Absolutely.
So those are the top moments that we'll cherish. And another moment I just want to throw out there was Christmas of 2019, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That was when we went around and we gave 4 random gifts to... They were loyal listeners. One of them, general, actually. But we'll keep that one nameless. But at the end of the day, we thank you so much. We've had an absolute blast doing this podcast. The reason we're stopping is not for any bad reason at all. It's just that we, in a stage of our life where we want to, you know, use this time and energy towards different things. That's all it is. But we 100%. Do want to thank you all for listening one more time. I appreciate every single one of you that have tuned in. Gaurav, thank you for being an amazing co-host, even though we've had some very topical debates over the last few years. But yes, thank you all. And Gaurav, I'll let you take the stage.
Very heartfelt. I love it. Thanks, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. It is written. It's not as long as Chris maybe made it seem out to be. But I did write it down, and so here we go. Thank you to all the casual listeners, general listeners, and dedicated soft souls. This podcast would have been absolutely nothing without you all, and you guys are the heart of this show. Thank you, Chris. Just like that secret code word you needed to get the app paid for by Chris. Thank you, Chris, for jumping on board and being a part of this epic 2.5-year journey from start to finish without any complaints. Thank you to all who wrote in, collaborated, and were part of this podcast in any way. There have been countless memories made. I will greatly miss being at the SFSG studios, talking absolute nonsense with you, Chris. And we've taken this podcast around the world, completed 2 fantastic races. Even though I was disqualified from one, they were still fantastic. We've learnt about bananas and bread. We've created all-time favourite playlists. We finally watched Lord of the Rings. We discovered hidden drinks. We've written letters to the council. And now we're here writing our goodbyes. And there could be no one else I would have picked to have such a so far so good life with. So love you and love you all.
Wow. That was amazing.
It is all these goodbyes. They are making me a little bit emotional. Feeling a bit sentimental here.
Yeah, look, and we were talking before the episode as well. We have many mixed feelings, you know. There's obviously sadness. There's happiness that it happened.
Yep.
It sounds like someone's died or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't worry, guys. The SMSG is still alive.
Yeah, so it's sadness. We're happy it happened. There's a sense of relief in a way as well. But yeah, heartfelt memories and everything else out to everyone that's listened. And I don't know really what else to say at this point.
I know. It's been a solid journey, and like Chris said, there's no bad reason we're ending this. It's just that we feel like if it went further, we may not have been able to deliver such quality as we would like to give you, and it just wouldn't have been fair. So we're so glad you were all on board with this journey. We've had so many dedicated listeners, and we really hope, you guys maybe even listen back, but still keep your Monday mornings fresh. It's always a beautiful day in Melbourne or wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't have said it better myself. There's really nothing left for us to say. we can't sign off with "We'll catch you on the next episode" because unfortunately there won't be one. But hopefully we will catch you on our Instagram at some point.
Or you know what? We will catch you on a previous episode, guys.
Yeah.
We'll catch you on a previous episode, and keep it all so far so good. We're keeping it so far so good. Stay up there, guys. Stay energetic.
That's it. And for the last time, goodbye.
Goodbye. So far, so good.